Guess it is. Okay, all set? All right, we'll call this meeting to order. Corey, are we good with roll call? Okay. Then I would ask Murph if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, moving on right along here. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda? Second, by Jerry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, agenda's approved. Now we have about 5 sets of minutes to approve. I hope everyone read them. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
Born seconds.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes for July 2nd, 16th, July 23rd, August 6th, and August 30th. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes passed. Oh. We're checking the recording. Hang on. We're going right to the finance report. 2019 projected. Tanner, would you like to fill us in on our financial situation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Ellen, we're glad you're with us on the phone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Let's see. Hopefully everybody received the budget document that was buried deep in the meeting packet. So beginning at the top here of the 2019 projected column, we have projected revenues of $608,225. So far, we're on track to receive those revenues with approximately $47,000 remaining uncollected as of about a month ago. So on track there. There are some abatements pending, but I don't know how many or how much they may add up to. That might affect our revenues. I have to call into the county assessor for more information, and I expect to hear back from them soon. So in the meantime, the $10,000 that we budgeted for abatements sort of remains in that line item. We have some miscellaneous revenue of $4,000. That money is from donations received for what has been pledged for the stagecoach and horse sculpture this year. Moving down into expenditures, we do have a beautification budget of $3,500. We have not expended any of that money yet. So although we authorized $1,000 for the flower grant program, nothing's been spent, so all of that money remains. Just left it there in the event that the board does spend it. Christmas lights or whatever else.
Okay. Excuse me.
Advertising, publication, you see $100 there. That is $50 for newsletters so far and enough money for 2 more newsletters for the year. Professional services of $3,750. Legal services $22,700. We are on track to be real close to that number. All of the development interest that we have right now, there's a chance we may exceed budget in that line item. We have spent no money on IT, no money on travel or training. The TIF reimbursements are a combination of the actual refunds we've issued so far and the refunds that are yet to be issued. Woodland Station improvements, we're exceeding budget there. You see $12,000. That's due to the purchase of the stagecoach and horse sculpture, and is partially offset by the miscellaneous revenues. All bond and city debt service payments have been issued. There is a small discrepancy with the 2012 series bond payment made this year. Mentioned that earlier in the year. It's about a $1,500 discrepancy, and I'm still waiting for final confirmation from Vector Bank as to whether or not what they invoiced and what they paid is the correct amount for the year, assuming that it is. And if so, then that 2012 series bond debt service payment will drop by about $1,500. There's also a discrepancy between the fund balance in my report and what city finance reports. The city finance reports a slightly higher fund balance than what I'm showing. So I'm working with them to reconcile that. In the meantime, I've left the lower figure. So that's essentially it for 2019 projected. All that leaves us with net revenues of $26,458 and a fund balance of $21,495.
Okay.
Are there any questions on the 2019 projected budget?
I don't. Did everybody in the audience hear that okay?
Is that better? It's reading low battery. Maybe that's the issue. Can you hear me? Okay. So moving on. 2020 budget.
Could you just give those last two figures?
Sure. Net revenues for 2019. We're currently projecting negative $26,458 for an ending fund balance of $21,454.95. Now, it's still a bit early in the year. These numbers are subject to change, just so everybody knows that.
Okay.
We're pretty close.
All right.
Okay.
Going on.
2020 draft budget. So you know, I've been asked to present a budget to the City Council on September 19th this month. So I'd really like some direction from the board on this budget to make sure that it's the board's budget that I would be bringing forward and presenting. Doesn't have to be finalized yet, still subject to some change, but
Okay, and that's,
just a starting point. So
and you say it has to be by September?
I'm going to present it September 19th.
Okay, so that's like in 2 weeks.
Right. So
do we need to have some discussion about that now, or do we need to just have some phone calls made if you have any thoughts?
well, I'd prefer to have any discussion now.
Okay.
Preliminary discussion. I'm going to run through what I've put together as a preliminary
Great.
budget, and would like any concerns, questions, recommendations that you have, and can make whatever changes the board wants before it's presented.
Okay. Then why don't you go through what you're proposing, and then we'll comment on that. Is that good? Okay.
Great. Okay, so at the top, you'll see TIF property tax revenues of $715,223. This is derived from the preliminary certification of values that I've received from the county assessor. There is an incremental assessed value on that certification. That value times the mills levied is how I derive this number. The mills aren't yet known. Those aren't certified until December, so they're subject to change, making this something of a guess at the moment. The certification of values is also subject to change. The one we receive in August is preliminary, and the county assessor issues a final in December. So at that point, we'll have more concrete numbers. The budgeting an $8,000 amount for potential abatements in 2020. Some interest on deposits consistent with years past. Moving into expenditures, still budgeting $0 for salaries, benefits, pension, or payroll tax. I've added $250 for office supplies to support increased administrative assistant function in case the board expands that role or Corey or the board needs to acquire additional supplies for any reason. The beautification budget has increased to $10,000 to allow us to support the city's placemaking efforts to support cleanliness or other beautification if desired. $0 for telephone, $0 for dues and subscriptions. $150 in advertising and publication would cover the cost of 6 newsletters, one every 60 days. Professional services of $9,600 is the maximum allowed under the administrative assistant contract for services. Legal services have increased slightly in anticipation of development activity. IT, we have $350 budgeted, which covers the cost of the website and email hosting with a little extra just in case we need some IT assistance.
Okay.
Travel and training is a $500 budget in the event we hold another retreat or any other travel or training activities, which does bring up a question I have for Ellen. Ellen, if I remember correctly, you attended a design conference in Denver, and was there a cost for that?
Yes, there was a cost of $90 is correct, but I'll just go ahead and sponsor that.
Well, thank you, Ellen.
Well,
Sponsor myself.
Okay, we do
Okay.
probably have the funds to reimburse you, but that's very generous if you do.
the money is in our budget, Ellen, so it's we can certainly reimburse you for that. So anyway, moving on, treasurer fees are 3% of revenues, so guessing those will be $21,457. TIF reimbursement expense declined slightly as the Dinosaur Resource Center's term ended this year. Other budgeted reimbursements are based on 2019 assessed values, and I'm assuming 80.5 mils. So those figures are subject to change somewhat like the revenues are. Woodland Station improvements of $10,000, anticipating activities such as any drainage maintenance, mowing, erosion control, or any other improvements such as additional trees or whatever else. All debt service payments budgeted are based on amortization schedules, and the bottom line is a net positive $37,310 in revenue, growing the fund balance to $58,764.
Okay. Board, any questions? Kelly?
I'm not getting the math. Fund balance that you're budgeted. Never mind. Figured it out. Thank you.
Anyone else?
You have to look 3 or 4. Sometimes you just have to voice it. Thank
Al?
you.
Yeah, Tanner and I did discuss this a bit at length yesterday afternoon.
Good.
But as we were talking too, the two things that are going to be in question is going to be what is going to be the certified values going forward, the treasurer and the assessors, and the other is going to be abatements with the turmoil in the property taxes that are going to be generating. We'll get the notices in January. I'm not sure what we're going to see. So abatements, we don't know where that's going really at this point. It's just a guess. But we are a bottom line budgeting process. So if we have to move it within the budget, we can.
Okay.
So
That's
that's
good to
one
know.
way, to circumvent having to put more monies into abatements and hoping, that we don't use it. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Any comment on that? Murph? Nope. I think that sounds good. Do I get a consensus approval for that? Do you think it needs a vote? I think a consensus would do. We have consensus. Looks like unanimous consensus.
Go to the next step.
Yep. So, thank you, Tanner. Okay, any more that you wanted to say about finance or budget or any of that, Tanner? You done?
Nope.
Okay. Amendment number 2, the 2009 Disposition and Development Agreement. Do we have an update on that?
I can give that to you, Mary Jo.
Thank you. Al?
It is scheduled to go before City Council, either on the 19th, and if that is not possible, then it'll go to the next meeting. So it has progressed to the point that it'll go back to council.
Okay. Any questions about that from the board? I guess we'll just wait, see what happens.
Should we?
Do we need now to take a formal action?
I think we need to take a formal vote, don't we? On
A formal vote to recommend the modification from, what was it, the August 18th? Develop the agreement as presented by and developed by the attorney.
And that was revised.
Submitted to the council.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the one that we need to approve.
August 18th. Okay. Are you making that into a
Yes.
motion?
Second.
I would move that we approve.
Okay. And do you have it, Corey, how that motion reads to accept?
Board recommends approval of modification to August 1st
Version, yeah. It's the revised proposed second amendment dated August 18th, 2019.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table. Al, seconded by Tanner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Recuse?
You got Keller to recuse, okay. Okay, passed. Onward and upward. Development proposals for Woodland Station. An update from the negotiating committee, and this is moving forward. We've tried really hard to get people together at the first of last week. Some were going on vacation, and it just didn't work out. So after September 16th, both parties have agreed to get together and talk about the development and how we can mesh projects together. So we're looking forward to that, and we'll keep everyone updated on it. Tanner, you had talked to Kevin Kratt, and would you please tell us what he said?
So Kevin Kratt did return my phone call and said that he would be more than willing to review any proposals submitted and provide some independent, objective, professional insight and opinion for the board, if that would be of any value.
Good. And he said he wasn't doing consulting anymore, that he would just do this just to help us out, just free of charge.
Just
And
to
just to help us get our feet going and get us in the right direction and make sure we had all our T's crossed and our I's dotted. So he will help us in that respect. And we'll talk about putting that negotiating committee together, and I would like to recommend that we have 2 negotiating people on the team and an alternate, so that we can still meet, so that that alternate can be kept in the circle. We all will be kept in the circle, but that alternate can be, if if one of the negotiating team cannot make a meeting or a project, the other one can't. There'll be always two. So, and I don't know, we need to figure out who that team will be. And I would like to stress that no matter who this team is, I think this board should be kept in the loop on a regular basis at any major thing that happened, because this board is responsible for the development of that site, and the whole board is. And hopefully all of our energies and all of our work will come to fruition to make this really happen. So whoever's on this team, the rest will not be left out. I want to make that very plain. Okay. Tanner, did you have anything you wanted to include on the negotiating committee or members and structure?
No, other than just a brief update from the activities that we have had.
Yes.
Following the last meeting of the board, and per the board's instructions, Mary Jo and I have been in touch with Mark Weaver and George Christian. Our position has been described as the following. That the DDA is very pleased to receive their proposals. We see value in both proposals. We think the proposals may be compatible with each other. And rather than picking one proposal or the other, we think combining them through a collaborative effort may yield a larger and more valuable overall development and work to the advantage of all involved, including the public. Both parties have been told that the board appointed Mary Jo and I to a negotiating committee, but that was subject to change at the board's discretion. Both parties have been told that the DDA did receive a letter of intent to participate in the DDA's development plans for Woodland Station, that letter was received from Woodland Park Beer Garden LLC, represented by Arden Weatherford, and that the DDA would be responding by providing Mr. Weatherford with a copy of the TIF application form and an invitation to submit more information.
Which is exactly what we gave the other two.
Right.
It would be the exact same packet.
We have been asked for a non-disclosure agreement that can be used so that the parties can sign and then speak openly with each other about the details of their proposals. I've asked our attorney, Paul Benedetti, if he can provide that document, and I don't have anything back from him on that yet. We have attempted to schedule a conference call, which Mary Jo alluded to, between the various parties. Due to individual schedules and an extremely narrow window of availability of one of the parties, we were unable to schedule that call. Next week of September 16th, will be the next available time for all parties to discuss the compatibility of their proposals. Although not discussed at our last meeting, Mary Jo and I have taken the position that time is of the essence. We recognize the importance of working diligently and expediently. However, to rush the process at this point may be unnecessarily risky and preclude due diligence and due process. So we are not rushing through anything, and just trying to bring the parties together and work as best as we can to bring about the best possible development.
Yes. Would the board like to comment on any of this? Ask questions or whatever? I think it's really exciting that Kevin, he's been up here and looked at this property twice, and I think it's exciting that he is going to help us with his expertise and his thoughts, free of charge, definitely, but yes, that's a really good one, but just his expertise and his knowledge that he has of the property, I think is a really plus. Jerry?
Could you refresh my memory, just, Kevin, what developments did he do? The North Nevada development, and also he's got a really good track record. I mean, okay, I just needed my memory.
Okay. Well, do we want to, we need to get into executive session for some of these proposals. Do we want to, or discussion and of develop, that's what our, I'm sorry, executive session is about. Do we want to pick a board for negotiating on the alternate? I guess on this committee, there needs to be probably someone who's got the time to be available quite a bit. There needs to be someone who can keep this really moving forward so that we're not gonna rush it, but we need to keep it pushing forward. Time is of the essence. These people have money that they've invested. They want to see a project happen as quickly as possible, and I think we should be sensitive to that. However, we do not want to just earmark it and stamp it through. So there'll probably be a lot more meetings, a lot more time spent. So, some discussion. Who would like to, does someone want to volunteer? Do you want to, we have Al as suggested as one. And I think Tanner would be, he's got so much of this already in the computer and going that I think that he should be one to do. I do. Well, and I would like to be on that too, just to make sure that everybody is informed on the board as to what is happening. So. I know.
Representative for the board. So that's just a suggestion.
Okay.
Murph, speak up.
I'm here to do whatever the DDA wants. I'm at what the DDA does for that.
Okay. Well, so we have 4, right? 5. It's the whole board. We all do. We all do. I guess, I would say if we had 2, since we have so many people who want to participate on this, let's do 2 negotiating members and 2 alternate members and go from there and see if we can't move that forward. Al?
Mary Jo, if time is of the essence, starting the 16th for the next 2 weeks, I'll be unavailable.
Okay. So Al, you're saying probably you wouldn't have the time to do that, but you would still be part
Sure.
of...
That 2-week period, I'll be gone. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you still want to be on it? Well, we could put you as an alternate. Okay?
Yeah, I just don't want to interfere with the flow.
Yes. Okay.
Keep this thing moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ellen, what is your comment? Are you...
I just said you could always have a second alternate, have 2 first alternates, and
Right.
then a second alternate if Al is not available in the first couple of weeks.
Right. That's why we do 2 alternates and two
And then one more.
team members. Okay. So, I guess do we want to just do a consensus? I think that Tanner, Al is an alternate. You want to be will you want to be on it? Will you be on it and then you be an alternate? Okay. 2 alternates. Jan would be an alternate and Al would be an alternate and Murph and Tanner would be the negotiators. Does that sound good to this board? Nick, is that good for you? Is that good for everybody? Is that good for you, Tanner? Well, you can't be at the meetings. There will only be 2 or we've got to publicize it and it has to be open. So the 2 of you alternates would be kept in the loop after their meetings, and then if there would be one of the either Tanner or Murph cannot attend, then they would call one of you to step in their place. But the four of you would stay pretty much on top of it, and then the alternates could be in charge of making sure the rest of the board knows what's going on. Okay? And if it comes a time we have to call a special meeting so that we all can be part of either a negotiation meeting with the developers, whatever it comes to, we'll take it as it comes. We'll make sure the whole board is part of this.
Or keeping in mind that we do not have the right to make, we have the right to establish tentative decisions, but we do not have the right to make them.
No,
Bingo.
no. So that may call special meetings, kind of at random. We'll just see how this plays out, and we'll handle it as it goes, but we will make sure that we're in the right direction.
Agreed.
And the four of you can decide who you would like to have work with you on those negotiations. Whether it's Sally from the city, if it's somebody else, whoever, that would be up to you to decide who you would like in on that, okay? Is that all right with the rest of the board, that they make that decision? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then I guess we'll move on to executive session. The board to be discussed will be, let's read this here, determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiation development strategy for negotiations and structuring negotiations under CRS 24.6.402.4E. So we will go into executive session. Thank you all for coming. Yes, Tanner?
Should we have any audience participation before we adjourn? to
Well,
the
that's
executive
why I was
session?
looking at general discussion should be in front of this because they're leaving. We'll do that just because we'll correct that from now on. Is there any participation or comments from the audience? Suzanne? Oh, good. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Isn't it at 5? 5:30. 5:30 is 7:30? Okay. 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 That sounds fine. Any other comments from the audience or questions? Sally? moving forward. Anyone else? Okay, then I would say let's take 5 minutes break and then we'll go into executive session.
Do you want to read the purpose of the executive
Oh, I
session?
thought I did already.
Okay. Well, we need a motion of the...
Well, do you want to take a 5-minute break and then go?
Whatever.
I'll
Just
make
for the
that
record, so
motion.
everybody knows.
Okay, I guess, whatever, we'll just go into it. Thank you all for coming. Sorry we're stuttering up here. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of strategy and negotiations under CRS 246402-4E? Do I hear a motion?
Born moves.
Second, Jan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are in executive session. We will wait till the room is cleared. I guess we'll all take our microphones off.